Hi, it's Nørgaard. So I'm finally back with a new tutorial, and today I'm doing this makeup look, and this is using MAC's Stone lipstick. This is such a gorgeous fall color in my opinion. So I know I have been gone for a while and I do apologize. If you follow me on Snapchat, then you will know I have been doing so many things, and I have been trying to film 4 times where it just did not work out. But today I sat down and I filmed this look and it turned out awesome, so I'm really happy. So if you guys want to see how I created this taupey fall makeup look, then here comes the tutorial. Okay, so I'm going to start out by getting my hair out of my face. My hair is undone because I'm going to wear a cap. When I wear a cap, I'm like, whatever, who's even gonna know that I did not do my hair? Which is why I love wearing caps. So I have been loving the Too Faced Hangover X Replenishing Face Primer lately. I have this little travel size and I've been loving this because I brought it with me to Copenhagen. I went to Copenhagen this past weekend and I basically brought this with me because it's the smallest primer I own. I have like a tiny makeup bag. I can actually show you. See, this is my makeup bag. It's pretty small. So anyways, that's the reason why I have been using this primer lately, and I have really been enjoying it. And this one is only 5 milliliters, but I have used it a lot. I have used it like 10 times and there's still something left. So it doesn't take that much. So for my lips, I'm going to prep them with this e.l.f. lip primer and plumper. So I'm just going to use the lip plumper. So while that's working, we can move on to foundation. And I have been loving the Stay Matte in Ivory. All my summer tan is gone, so I'm officially back to just using Ivory. And I have actually been using a brush because when I go traveling, I don't really have enough space for my beauty blender. So I'm using the Sigma F80 and I just like to stipple the foundation on. And then down the neck, I kind of buff it out. So where I want a lot of coverage, I just stipple and then I buff anywhere else. So once I have a nice flawless foundation on, I'm going to use my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer in the color Fair Neutral. And I'm just going to use this right underneath my eyes. I don't normally highlight my entire face when I wear this foundation because it does stick to a powder finish. So it can be a little bit hard to blend concealers out on top of it. And I'm using my damp little sponge from W7. And I really love this sponge. It's so soft and it works so well for under eye concealer blending. And to set my entire face, I have been using the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder in Transparent. So I make sure I get a good amount on my powder brush. And then I go ahead and set the under eye. So once the under eye area is nice and set, I'm going to set the rest of the foundation with the same powder. And of course go down the neck as well to make sure everything kind of fades. So I'm going to use my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette now. And I'm going to use this more cool toned bronzer to bronze up my face. And I'm using my BH Cosmetics Deluxe fan brush. So I'm not going to do my forehead because I am going to be wearing a cap, so it doesn't matter. Instead I'm going to use a bit of this darkest color, and I'm just using this on a Milani little brush to deepen the contour. And you have to be careful when you're using this if you're my skin tone because it's very dark. And also a tiny bit down here. And then I just go ahead and blend that in with my Deluxe fan brush. So I want to bring a little bit of warmth back into the face since it's some very cool toned bronzes and contours I used. So I'm actually going to use another bronzer as my blush. This is the e.l.f. Pressed Minimal Bronzer in the color Caramel Cabana. So I'm just going to apply a bit of that and just blend it back into the contour. So as you guys know, I haven't really been highlighting my cheekbones a lot lately, but I am still highlighting my nose. So I'm using this e.l.f. shimmer in the color pink, and I'm just using my finger to apply and blend it out. So once that is all done, I am done with my face makeup and I'm just going to set it. So I'm using the NYX Matte Finish setting spray. And before I move on to my eyes, I'm just plumping up my lips again. So for my eyebrows, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Instant Lift eyebrow pencil in the color Neutral Brown. So I'm going to start out with the spoolie and I'm just going to brush my brow hairs up, and then I go ahead and fill them in. And as you guys know, I always make the back end of my brows darker than the front, and then I just brush it out. And I go in the front and brush out the front just to distribute a tiny bit of product in the front, so they end up looking something like that. So once I have my brows on, I'm going to use the Technic Natural Lashes Conditioning Mascara as a brow gel, just to make sure that the brow hairs stay in place. So on my eyelids, I'm going to use Urban Decay's Primer Potion. So just apply a bit of that on each eyelid, and I just blend it in with my finger. So for my brow bone highlight, I'm going to go ahead and use MAC Vanilla Pigment. So I'm using this tiny little brush from Ego Tools to apply my brow bone highlight. And this just gives such an intense and beautiful highlight. And I'm just blending it out with my e.l.f. eyeshadow C brush. Now I'm going to grab my Amrezy palette by Anastasia. And I'm going to grab the color Vanilla. And just with my eyeshadow C brush again, I'm just applying this on the eyelid. So I'm just applying this as a light wash all over the eyelid. And then I'm going to use MAC Charcoal Brown. It's just a neutral medium brown, and I'm going to apply this in the crease. So I'm just popping it right in here. And as you can see, it has lots of pigment. So now I'm going back to my Amrezy palette, and I'm taking the color Deep Plum. And I'm going to use this to deepen the crease. And I'm just using a tiny little blending brush from Morphe. And I just go back in with my big blending brush and blend it out. And finally I'm going to take LBD down here, the black one, just to really deepen the outer corners. And I'm just using the same brush and just applying it right out here. And again, I use my big blending brush to blend it out. So now I'm just using my eyeshadow C brush just to give a little blend on the eyelid and on the brow bone. So I'm not doing any eyeshadows on the lower lash line. I'm leaving my lower lash line completely bare. So now I'm going to do my eyeliner. I'm using the gel eyeliner by Rimmel in the color Black. And I'm just doing a cat eye that follows the eyeshadows. So it turned out a bit more intense than I was going for, but that happens. So I'm just going to roll with it and do some pretty intense wings. So it turned out pretty intense, but that happens. So let's just roll with it. So I'm going to curl my eyelashes, and I'm using my BH Cosmetics Lash Curler. And for my mascara, I'm using Great Lash by Maybelline. And I don't particularly love this one, but I bought it, so I want to get some use out of it. And I'm just applying 2 coats just to my upper lashes. And then I'm going to apply some false ones on top. So now I'm using my gel liner, and I'm applying it to my upper waterline. And I'm just kind of stamping it on there and wiggling. So for falsies, I'm going to use my beloved Wispies from Adele. And I finally found my Revlon lash glue. It was in one of my bags. So I feel like this one is almost out, so I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to apply my falsies with my BH Cosmetics Lash Applicator. When I was away over the weekend, I didn't have my lash applicator with me, I forgot it, and I had to apply my falsies with just my fingers, and it was so difficult. I haven't applied lashes with just my fingers in like 8 years or something. I tried it out like the first few times I tried out lashes, but I quickly learned it was much easier to use tweezers, and then later on I discovered lash applicators. So I literally had not done that for like 8 years, and it was just so difficult. I was really missing my lash applicator. So anyways, let's pop this one on. And then the other one. So you guys know I like to go over the last band with my eyeliner. And I'm also applying a bit more mascara. So now we are moving on to lips. And I'm using Stone Lip Pencil by MAC. And I'm going to outline my lips. So I did overline my lips a little bit, just to make them look a bit powderier. So now I'm using MAC Stone Lipstick. So I'm using a bit of my foundation on this e.l.f. concealer brush, and I'm going to clean up the lips. And I'm just making my top lip a bit smaller because I went a little bit too overboard on the top. And then I just blend out the foundation with my little sponge. And I also apply a bit of powder. So when I have my lipstick on how I want it, the look is complete. So I just put on my cap and my choker, and here you guys have the finished look. So if you like this makeup tutorial, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in my next video. So take care and bye bye!